Hi, namaste, and welcome to Breakout with me, Abha. Thank you so much for watching. We are talking about the art of making and breaking rules. Now, this show is committed to bring to you exceptional people, people who have gone beyond the normal to do something bigger, something more extraordinary, something meaningful, something that affects a lot more people than themselves. And these are the movers and shakers, the business mavericks, the thought transformers. And guess what? They have agreed to share the insights of what they have done and demystify this whole rules game for us. There's so many rules out there so that we can break out of what we feel is limiting for us and break into something that we feel is necessary for us, what we really, really desire to do. So these are the people who have taught us that there is only one rule to life, and that is that there are no rules to life. We just make them up on the way. Everything is figure outable. My guests are all very, very real people, very, very smart people. We got to listen to them very, very carefully. And today we have with us this lovely lady with us, very young woman who has dedicated her life to demystify the world of money and personal finance to help people get financial wellness. We talk about wellness all the time. Now she will tell you how financial wellness happens. A money coach certified by the ICF, International Coaching Federation, and the Institute of Professional Excellence in Coaching, she specializes in personal finance and negotiations. Having worked in the financial services industry for 5 years, with a degree in finance from Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania, not satisfied, she founded the Fiscal Femme, which empowers her clients to make conscious and intentional financial decisions by creating a harmonious relationship with money. And that's a taboo topic. Let's talk to her later, right? Now, this in turn maximizes happiness. It defines a vision for success and achieves the results beyond what was once thought possible. Please welcome Ashley Feinstein, the founder of Fiscal Femme. Ashley, hi, welcome.
Hi, thank you for that amazing introduction.
It's all you. I try to make it very short. So so there's more to it. There's more to Ashley. So Ashley, tell me. First of all, thank you so much for coming by. Thank you for your time. Money is not talked about, especially women. They're scared to talk about money, especially my side of the world. Money is a taboo topic. People are confused. They do not understand when it comes to money. But you broke out of that zone. You were studying money. You've done a degree there, and you have a degree in finance. But you broke out of that whole systemized space to now talk about something in terms of financial freedom. Tell us about your early influences. Tell me about your personal experiences or thoughts on why you think this is very relevant and important today.
Great question. So many things there. Money is definitely a difficult topic. It's not taught to us. It's very emotional.
Right.
If it were just about the numbers, it's very simple math. It wouldn't be so hard, but it's very emotional. And it's also taboo. So this thing that is very important to us, we're not taught about, we're not talking about. And I actually sound like I have this phenomenal background to teach me about money, but from my background, I actually didn't learn much about money. I learned about money for business, for companies, but as a finance major, investment banker in corporate finance, I didn't learn about personal finance. And I actually started my company out of a personal need to understand this, and I just dove in and tried to learn as much as I could, and then wanted to share that with others because it's hugely liberating. Money, we talk about financial goals, but really money is part of every single goal we have.
Exactly. That's why I said, because this is such an important thing in life, but we look at it in ways because there's so many things around money. Plus, it does so many things for us that we are connected with money in more ways than one. It's just not earning or income. I think it's more to it. So you're bringing a lot of clarity to the more part of it. So I want to understand from you. You've created this new language around money. When we used to be kids, we used to think, oh, I failed in math, so we're scared of math. So if we don't know math, we don't know money. This is how people think. I don't understand numbers. So they're scared of numbers. Now you said, okay, no, this is not just about simple math. If it was just simple math, it would have been simple for all of us. It isn't. So what is it? If you do not know the numbers, you don't know how to do money. How true is this? I don't think it is.
No, it's not true at all. And I think what happens is we're afraid of it, so we avoid it. And the more we avoid it, the bigger and scarier it gets.
Right.
And so when we actually face it and look what's happening, it's a lot less scary and bad than we think.
Right.
And it's actually a huge relief to know what's happening with our money.
So tell us about Fiscal Femme. This is your blog, and I've gone through a couple of your blogs, and very interestingly, you've put out this whole, not just the language around it, but the framework that you've created in terms of, the formulae, the equations, the simplicity with it comes to us. It's brilliant. So tell me about that math. What is the math that Ashley has created?
The math, yeah. So I think often we think of money, we want to say, oh, that's going to be no fun. It's restricting. You have to stay home. We can't do anything. And really, my goal is for my clients and my readers to get on their own team about money, because what we truly want, when we want to save, we're saving for something wonderful, whether it's retirement or we don't have to work, or financial freedom or a vacation. And often we are battling with ourselves. So we say, oh, don't do this, don't buy that. And then we end up going on a shopping spree or doing something we didn't mean to, and we beat ourselves up, and it's this cycle. And so to get out, realize we want the same, we want to be doing these things, and it's okay that we don't know it, and it's a lot of forgiveness and compassion with ourselves, and figuring just personal finance is very personal.
Right.
So what do we actually want to do with this tool that we have called money?
Right. I think also that it's apart from being a tool and a resource, a lot of things boil down to the kind of relationship we have with money personally. So it's just not just the money in itself that's outside of us, but how are we connected to it mentally, emotionally, and physically. So a lot of people I see just struggle with the idea of money, struggle with money and the idea of money. So you have created a different math for keeping your money from being spent in unproductive ways. I love that formula on your blog. I want you to talk about that. It's a very simple and powerful equation. Viewers, please do listen to this carefully, because this is simple, yet it is the best advice that you could ever hear when it comes to saving and living within your means and starting with your money well. Tell us about that one.
Yes. So the typical equation we talk about is income minus expenses equals savings. And right. And so it's actually just reworking the equation, same equation, but when we do that, pretty much 99 times out of 100, maybe even 999 times out of 1,000, there's never money left over to save.
Right.
And we think, oh, we just don't make enough money.
Right.
But then what happens? You get a raise, you make more money, and you're still not saving.
Right.
Right. So something's wrong here. And that's when people typically come to me. They say, oh, there's something not working here, because I thought I just needed to make more money, and now I just need to make more money again. And so what happens when you switch the equation, I think it's very powerful to think of the equation income minus savings equals expenses.
Right.
And when you do that, it's almost as if you're treating savings how we typically treat an expense.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you'll have savings left over, and really getting it out of your account, because something I wrote about Parkinson's law, but it's something always happens where your expenses fill what's in your bank account, and sometimes it's even down to the cent. It's
right.
exactly in there.
Expenses always expand. So they are supposed to be, it's just the difference of an E and an A. So expense will become an expense. So I think it's we all do that. So is it also somewhere connected to the spiritual act? Because we always say, okay, give away the 10% first. A lot of people hear that. A lot of people probably even know that and do that in terms of giving it away to charity. But does it somewhere mean that we are saying, okay, let's put ourselves first, let's pay ourselves first, let's save first, and then we go and spend? Is it in some way connected?
So I think it's often, a lot of this money work is about self-love. And I think it's really hard for us to take care of ourselves, right, and to even do things just for us. We're often caregiving other people, or it's to take us further, do something. but to just do something just for yourself, even not money related, can sometimes be difficult.
Right.
So I think that definitely plays into it. Also, this whole mindset of abundance versus scarcity. And so in some of my programs, we'll strip out all of this unnecessary spending, and you realize how much we already have and don't need to get because there's so much already there, and we have so much more than enough.
Right.
And I think coming from that place versus the typical budgeting mindset of no, cut this out, that's very scarce. There's not enough. I need more.
Right.
And so I think that shift, and then you mentioned money relationship, and we it sounds funny, but we have a relationship to money just like we would anything else.
Exactly.
Like a friend.
Right.
And if you ignore your friend, they won't be your friend.
Yeah, it's more. I think money is always more than a friend. It's more like one of the key relationships in life. And if you don't focus on that, and if you don't have a fun relationship with it, I think it can be very struggling and difficult for people. So yeah, interesting. I think I would really sort of want to bring that out one more time, that it is about self-love. It is being able to be you and be able to serve yourself so that you're strong enough to serve others. We believe, and we've been taught to believe, that we have to serve everybody else before we have to serve ourselves. But I think you have to be in a relationship of helping, in the position of helping others, not in a relationship of helping others. So we got to get that in that position. Interesting. Ashley, tell me, you help your clients in creating and sustaining businesses to create financial freedom and their money goals. You help them do that. So investing as well as spending. So with your background in the financial world, and also with what you're doing now, you've put together a great combination. Give us a peep into some of the ways in which you've helped your clients, how they've benefited, if they come to you, what are they looking at, and how can you help them more?
Yeah, so this is what I love about my job, is getting to see the results and how it helps people. And I think it's very cool because you actually see objective benefits. But I think the number one benefit that they see is this reduced stress, more joy, happiness, because money stresses so many people out. So to have that removed is hugely beneficial and brings so much more joy to your life. That being said, people in my money cleanse, they'll save $9,000 and realize, oh, that just showed up and it's not even hard, but I found this money that I can now use for something. Or they'll negotiate a big raise, pay down their loans, starting to invest their money, which is, I think, a huge part of becoming financially free, because you need your money to grow for you, and that's often scary, especially for women.
Right.
We want to be more conservative, and sometimes we don't put that money in the market and get to watch it grow.
Right. So, okay, now that you've spoken about women usually stay off the money zone. It's supposed to be left to the men. I think a lot of the times I've seen that we are now more educated, we are all working, but still the money issues and the money understanding remains primarily with the men. Does it also happen that side of the world? I've met some women who do that.
Definitely.
It does. So how are you helping women break out of this?
Yes, that's a great question. So of course, there are women who are running the finances of their family. There are women who are completely comfortable with this, but there are also a great number of women who maybe they've taken a back seat to this, and now they hear your show or they see something and they want to get involved. They realize this is a big part of being powerful, and they want to know what's happening with their money. It's their financial freedom. And so sometimes we'll talk about it. I think there's a tendency to say, oh, I've been out of it this long. I'll never catch up. I'll sound stupid. They're talking down to me. So there can be some work around, what does that mean? There's so many buzzwords thrown around, and it's very intimidating. And and often it just means something very simple, and it doesn't have to be intimidating. So it's how it's phrased, and giving them the knowledge to have the confidence to go into that conversation and ask questions. And so I think a lot of it is education, and you mentioned saying, oh, I was bad at math, so I'll never be good at money. So kind of changing your money mantra, I call it. There's money mantra leads to, if you're bad at money, then you'll continue to make bad money decisions, and then you say, oh, it's because I'm bad at money. So breaking that and coming up with something more powerful to tell yourself.
Absolutely. I do believe it boils down to simple maths, provided we understand how it works. That's all. So I think it's educating the mind differently and being able to get the basic concepts right. And the money works in the same way everywhere. Plus, I think we just need to go out, open ourselves up, and be almost, notorious. Say, oh, I understand it. But yeah, and then we can go to Ashley and say, okay, Ashley, teach us how. So that's going to be good. Okay, you have a program called the 30-Day Money Cleanse. It sounds like a money detox program. When can people join that, and what happens through it?
So it's my favorite program. It is, so I host them in January and August, and I might actually host one in May by popular demand, because I'm getting a lot of interest in having another one sooner.
Super.
But what we do is we take 30 days, just like a food cleanse. We strip out frivolous spending, so clean spending, like clean eating, for 7 days. And there's a private Facebook group, so everybody's supporting each other, and this is all through live webinar.
Right.
I record it so they can't make the call, but we're asking questions. It's very interactive. And week 2, we lay out all of our numbers, just like we talked about, how can you do anything about it if you don't know what's happening?
Right.
So we see what's happening, and then we do some values work, which I think is so important, because having a lot of money to me means something very different to have a lot of money to you and someone else.
Sure.
What we're going to do with it is based on what's important to us. And so what we want to do is make sure that our spending aligns with our values, so that we actually get meaning from it, versus, oh, it's a habit, or it's what everybody else does, so that's what I'm doing. Right. And then finally, we do some work on building our dream team, which is very fun, because if you have your best friend doesn't know that you're trying to save for something, and she's asking you to go to a sample sale, she wouldn't do that if she knew what you were trying to accomplish, because she loves you. So it's bringing in the team to talk about, it might feel taboo, but what you're trying to do, so that they can support you.
Right.
And then figuring out, I call them environmental toxins, the people, places, and things that get the best of our spending, and how to mitigate those toxins in our everyday life.
Yeah, I think that sounds great. I think everybody must join that 30-day money cleanse. It sounds like a real nice money detox and mental detox kind of program. And we need to have, I think we need to have more constructive conversations around money. Because I think it's all so hidden, and it's also kind of stuff that, people say, oh, should I not? And I think people should start talking more about it, and talking about not the numbers per se of what they have, they don't, but about what they think about money and how they want to use their money, which is in itself, I think, very liberating. And because that is where I feel women should break out of that space and go get the basics right. Meet Ashley, speak to her, go to her website, Fiscal Femme. There's another one, knowingyourworth.com, is it? There's another website called knowingyourworth.com. Yeah, so please go see knowingyourworth.com. Look for Ashley, look for Financial Femme, and Fiscal Femme, right? Fiscal Femme.
Yeah, Fiscal Femme.
So please see what she's doing, because this is amazing. We need to start talking about money a lot more, and in more constructive ways than out of fear or out of social obligation. So Ashley, tell me, you've got more programs out there, right? Which are also revolving around money, more workshops and programs I saw on your site to do with financial wellness, savvy investor, and something to do with student loans. I haven't heard that before. Tell us more about this. Just give us an overview of what all you're doing.
Okay, so we covered the 30-day money cleanse. The Savvy Investor course is a 3-month course where I take people through knowing nothing to being competent and confident investors in 3 months.
Okay.
And we work through getting the money to invest. Some people say I don't have enough money to invest. Getting over the fear of getting started, all the way to the key concepts of what is a stock, what is a bond, how to open an account, how to buy an investment.
Right.
So really everything. And that's a very fun course. And then I have the student loan and debt program, which is launching for the first time in May. And I started that course because I surveyed my email list and said, what do you want to learn? And that was the number one, by far, thing that they were interested in learning more about. And then the financial wellness programs that you'll see on the site are for companies, because I think, as you mentioned earlier, wellness, part of wellness is financial wellness.
Yes.
And if you're stressed about money, you're not as productive or happy an employee. And so there are studies that show companies that invest in financial wellness save up to $3 for every dollar spent. So think how wonderful it'd be if you went to work and there's somebody there to help you do this.
Right. That's amazing. That's amazing. What about the student loan thing? You have to tell me about that. I've got kids. I've got kids who are looking to study there.
Yeah, I'd love to have them. So the student loan course is 2 months, and it pairs really well with the money cleanse, because the money cleanse creates the money to pay down more of your student loans. But often when students graduate, the average number now is $35,000 per student is what they graduate with, and you get all these options of how you get to pay it off, how you want to do it, and often they just sign at the line. They want to go to school, and so to really understand what that means, how to prioritize to make sure they're not late, and how to find the money to do that.
Right. Very interesting. I think that's something that's new. I mean, I don't think anybody's teaching that out there. So great work there. You spoke about having your money mindset and the shift that you're thinking of align with the values that you have. So you're about living a big life within the means, and you teach the process to grow those means. So literally putting your money where your heart is. So how important is it to align with your deepest desires while you're thinking of money, rather than just having a gap between the desires and the money situation? So is it important to bring your desires to life to make the kind of money that you want to make, or is it first the money then the desires? How does it work? What is the sequence of events?
Great question. So I think often this is a reframe I love. So we often think, I really want this thing, whatever it is, and that's my goal, and it's going to make me happy. Right. But what I urge people to do is think about what it actually will provide them, so that if they really want that car, what's it going to provide them? And if it's to feel successful, to feel beautiful, whatever that is, if they feel stuck in that they need that item. So to really know why you want something opens up to say there are actually a million ways to satisfy that.
Right.
And it could be any level of income that can get that.
True.
So it provides you more options, and you can still choose to get the beautiful car that you want, but now if you would rather save more, you can choose something else.
True.
So I'm all about creating options and to give people freedom to save for what they want and live the life they want now.
Oh yes, absolutely. Choices. So you're creating choices for them. That's great. Tell me, you say 2016, the key word that you're following is impact, right?
Yes.
So what are you bringing to us in 2016? How do you intend to create that impact? And how many people do you think you're impacting? Where in the world?
Great question. So that is my focus for 2016. I am very passionate about what I do, and I know that when I'm working with people one-on-one, there's just so many people that I can touch and reach. And so doing more of what we're doing right now, so that my word can be, what I'm sharing can be all over the world, and having my courses where I can have many more people in it, and doing more speaking, and even maybe it's something I'm working towards is creating something that we can have a community all year round in this conversation.
Right.
Versus right now, someone takes a course and it's wonderful and they go off into the world, but what happens to that conversation now? So it's something that they can all come together and share, because we get really good ideas from everyone else.
True. That's true. So I wish you good luck with that, and I hope this happens, because this is really important, and a lot of people need to learn this, and a lot of people struggle with this. So great. If I were to ask you, who is Ashley? I mean, I'm trying. We've got into your head. Now we want to see your person. If I were to put a tagline to you, who is Ashley in a couple of words? So when we write your name out there, the fiscal femme woman, that is one of them. But if Ashley were to describe herself, what would she say?
That is a great question. I'm so approachable, very approachable. Me personally and money, I want them to be approachable. I live and breathe what I talk about. So I am a fiscal femme.
Okay.
And I'm sharing how to be a fiscal femme.
Wow.
I would say I would love to be known as courageous.
Super. Super.
Yeah.
So Ashley, courageous. Ashley, the fiscal femme, courageous. So for everybody who is watching, please go and look up for Ashley. Okay, I'll go wrong with the name. Just please, Feinstein. So Ashley Feinstein, because we speak English differently over here. Ashley Feinstein, and please look her up. She says she's approachable. She is there to help you with your money, with your finances, and with understanding what money can do for you and how to make it work for you. So Ashley, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for sharing your insights and what you're doing. It is amazing. I wish you good luck, and I hope that I can be part of this community in some way and help you in whatever way I possibly can. Thank you very much for your time.